Hi, boys and girls. I'm Miss Gellar from Pre-K 2, and I have a book I'd like to share with you today. It's called Stand Tall, Lou Melon. It's written by Patty Lovell and illustrated by David Cutro. Now, in this book, Molly makes a new friend. I wonder how she makes that new friend. Let's read and find out. Stand Tall, Lou Melon. Lou Melon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can, and the world will look up to you." Well, her grandmother is giving her some advice. That means she's telling her some good things she can do. And the advice she gives her is stand tall and the world will look up to you. And to look up to can have two meanings. It can mean that you actually look up, and it can also mean that you really admire someone or you think they're really great. So she did. Look at what Molly Lou is doing. I can see that she is balancing on one hand on that handrail on the stairs. I think she's following her grandmother's advice. Even though she's the shortest kid, she can do that. She can balance on one hand. And that makes her unique or different in a good way. And look at her friends down here. They really are looking up to her. They're looking up, but they're also admiring her. Molly Lou had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big and the whole world will smile with you." Her grandmother is giving her some more advice. She's telling her that she should smile big and not be ashamed or embarrassed of her teeth. She should be proud of the way she looks. So she did. Wow. I can see that Molly Lou listened to her grandmother's advice. She smiled big and she showed off those teeth. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." Well, when Molly Lou sings, she has a voice that is very unique. It's different from the way other people sound. And even though she sounds like a bullfrog, she listens to her grandmother's advice and she sings out loud and clear. She's not afraid. I can see here all these animals are sitting around, and you know what? Looks like they're looking up to Molly Lou Melon as well. She's doing just what her grandmother told her to do. She's following her advice. She's singing out loud and clear. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered. She didn't mind. Fumble-fingered means that she was clumsy and she would drop things a lot. And I can see in this picture that she has dropped a lot of dishes and they shattered. But her grandmother told her, "Believe in yourself and the world will believe in you too." So even though she's often clumsy, her grandmother told her to believe in herself. And if she does, everyone else will believe in her too. She did. Oh, I can see she is following her grandmother's advice. Look what she's doing. Balancing on this wire on a unicycle and juggling those teapots above her head. So she listened to that advice and she believes in herself. And because of that, she's able to do things that are really hard. And here are her friends. And what are they doing? They're looking up to her. They're admiring her. Oh, then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. So I can see Molly Lou waving goodbye to her friend all the way over here. And here's her car, and they're all packed up. They've got boxes of all the things from their house, and even their pets are packed up and ready to move. And when she moved, she had to start a new school. I see she's ready to get on this school bus for the first time with her notebook and her snack, but these kids aren't familiar to her. She doesn't know them. This is all new. So I feel like she's maybe a little bit nervous or apprehensive about having to get on that bus with all the kids that are new and unfamiliar. Well, on the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, wow, she's good. And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Well, he called her Shrimpa, which was not a nice thing to call her because she was so short. But because she was so short, she was able to run under his legs and score that touchdown. So I'm thinking that Molly Lou is remembering the advice that her grandmother gave her. Remember, she said that if she believed in herself, the rest of the world would believe in her too. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies and stacked 10 high on her teeth and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Well, once again, Ronald Durkin is teasing her, calling her Bucky Tooth Beaver because of the way her teeth stick out. But Molly Lou wasn't ashamed, right? That didn't make her run away. That made her take out her pennies and show off what she could do with her pennies and her buck teeth. Because she is unique, right? She's different, special in a way that others aren't. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Well, Molly Lou Melon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the other children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Well, that Ronald Durkin, he's not being kind. He's teasing her again, this time for the sound of her voice. Well, she did just what her grandmother told her to do. She sang out loud and clear. And you know what I think? I think all the other children are relieved that Ronald Durkin is going to be away for the rest of the day, because I think that he doesn't just tease Molly Lou Melon. I think he teases a lot of kids. Well, on the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she'd made the snowflake all wrong. But Molly Lou Melon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all, and all the children oohed and ahed. Even Ronald. Well, I can see again Molly Lou listens to that advice that her grandmother gave her to believe in herself, and she does. And the rest of the children also think that Molly Lou Melon's snowflake was extra special and unique and different from all the others. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Melon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. Wow, that's different. This time, Ronald Durkin brings a stacking penny to Molly Lou. I think he's starting to realize something, that she's pretty unique. She's one of a kind, and she's special. Ronald Durkin is starting to notice her. I think he's decided that maybe he wants to be kind. That night, Molly Lou Melon took out a pencil and a paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. Dear Grandma, I want to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Melon. Let's take a look at Grandma here. What do you notice about her? Do you see what I see? She's also pretty small. I bet she's similar to Molly Lou in other ways as well. I have a feeling that Grandma knows what it feels like to be Molly Lou Melon, and that's why she's able to give her such good advice. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon. And I wonder if you can think back as to how did Molly Lou make a new friend? I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Okay, bye everyone.